There is only one religion accepted by the Almighty Creator, by whatever name you know Him, by whatever title you put on the practice in serving Him. It is preached by all the prophets, from Noah, Abraham, even up through Muhammad. It is submission to His will. With that being said, how do we know what His will is for America? We see all these problems manifesting: monetary system collapsing, filth and degeneracy are being promoted in all facets of life. Just about every television show now, and for the past 20 years, has had some form of violence. Does art imitate life, or is that conditionally programming the people to preemptively plant the seed to be acted upon later when the circumstances arise? See, entertainment is a diversion. And one of the definitions for diversion is a tactic of war. See? They come at you from all sides. At us, at me, at we. So that we may be led astray and made evil fair seeming, following our low desires. But what is the will for America, for God's will for America? It might be contrary to your will, my will, opinion. It may be contrary to the Republicans or the Democrats. It may be contrary to the Federal Reserve. It may be contrary to your religious establishment. But what is it? How can we get to this? Because it is only by acting on His will for this nation as a collective group that these problems may be resolved. You can fight the establishment and corruption and all this, but until you get to the root, that tree will grow another branch and still produce its wicked fruit. So where can we find America in the Bible, since most people are familiar with that? Old Testament and New Testament. We have on the back of our dollar bill, on the presidential seal, a picture of a pyramid. Why? Regardless of what was in the mind of those who designed it and put it there, what was God's will? Jehovah's will, Allah's will, Eli's will. The many names that He has revealed Himself to the people by. I bear witness there is but one. He has no partners and no rivals. And until we get to the root, you see, because Jesus, as this has been claimed by many in the media lately, that this is a Christian country. No, this is a country founded on the freedom of religion. But let's just take Jesus' example. He was talking and some of His disciples come up and said, "Your mother and your brother are outside and they want to speak with you." He asked the question, who is my mother, my brother, my sister? He who does the will of God, the Father, is my brother, my mother, my sister. Many are trying to worship this man and what he represents instead of trying to become his brother. But let's get back to the will of God for America. We find a great city in the book of Revelations, and Revelations means to make hidden things known. And in the book it says, when the mystery of God is finished, That means someone is out explaining, identifying, giving the facts to make the hidden things known, the symbols and all this, and that is encompassed in every compilation of the books that make up the Bible and Quran. For if these are prophecies, they must be fulfilled. And they say that history repeats itself, and those who fail to learn from it are doomed to repeat the mistakes of the past. So let's start there. We have an identification of a great city in the book of Revelations. In chapter Revelations 11, it states, in that great city, spiritually called Sodom and Egypt. Later on in the 18th chapter, it states, Babylon the Great has fallen, has fallen. Well, there are 3 cities that come under judgment. All had the same result in different facets. So, what does America have in relationship to Egypt? Let's start with the symbolism. We have a pyramid on the back of our dollar bill. Yes, many in the international bankers and those who control the corporate fascist system we have in place today see it as vertically integrating the wealth and power into the hands of a few. But we're looking at identification. There was some people held in bondage in Egypt. Has America held people in bondage, a particular group, the despised and rejected? Yes. How long? Since 1555. Well, that's over 450 years. So, America, what is God's will for you? There was 10 plagues, or 10 plagues, 9 in Egypt, the 10th being death. The God of the earth, as described in the 11th chapter, who has 2 witnesses who are resembled as olive trees. Olive branches are symbol of peace. They're living trees. They produce healing and oil. They are lampstands, as described. But they have power over the plagues. They visit the people and turn water into blood. This only means death and destruction of property and lives alike. The only place we have where the Christ is described is in the 3rd chapter of Revelation. He is a man with feet like burnished brass, that is black, hair like lamb's wool. So this is of the company of the oppressed and the despised and rejected that have been through hell in America for the past 450 years. So America and the collective group alike, why are these tornadoes ripping through this nation? Why are the structures being destroyed by the Formosa termite? Why are fire ants invading people's homes? Why are alligators coming through doggy doors, terrorizing people in Florida? Why are bed bugs infesting hotels across this nation to where you can't even sleep as you travel and not bring that little stranger home? Then you have to fumigate your house with sodium fluoride. But that's in your tap water. Why? These are plagues being visited upon you, America. We had one of the worst winters just passed. Why? Why was so much snow being dropped on you? Oh, I know. The establishment says that that's global warming. This is man-made. These are cause and effect. Yes, it is man-made. But it's not due to the effect of some carbon dioxide, greenhouse gases, It's because the Messiah is on the scene. The Son of Man is bringing these plagues against you. Egypt, Moses was made to be a god over Pharaoh and his people, and Aaron like a prophet unto him. So, if this is the fulfillment of Egypt, and we can put these few circumstances that seem to fit, then we can identify or begin to identify what was God's will for Egypt. It was to let that people go. And they left with sustenance. Is that right? Well, if the book opens up with those who claim they are Jews and are not, I will make them the synagogue of Satan. Synagogue is a gathering place. It's more than one man. Then who are the real children of Israel? And if God, Allah, Jehovah, Yahweh, Ele, whatever you can identify him by, is bringing these plagues through a man onto America, hurricanes like haven't been seen, and they're multiplying. Just in March 31st, the Honorable Louis Farrakhan. Controversial. Why? Truth is controversial in a time of lies. He pointed out the fact, and he's the second of these olive trees, I might add, that there's a great quake coming to America. And now as we see what happened in Japan and Chile, and last year in Haiti and New Zealand, and in 2004 in Indonesia, these are warning signs to America. These are warning signs of a great quake that is coming here. What can we do as individuals and as a collective group to gain the favor of God so that we might be spared? Will America be spared? Well, this great city in America has a bridegroom, well, the voice of a bridegroom in it. In the 18th chapter, he's considered a lampstand that will shine no more in her. And the bridegroom will be heard no more in her. And the bride will be heard no more in her. Well, if the voice of the bridegroom and the bride are in America, then there's a group of people here that must be honored, revered, if you like to earn the favor of God. Allah, Jehovah, Yahweh, Eli, Elion. In the second chapter, we have here Jesus being described as having a new name. Well, if there's only one name under the sun by which a man may be saved, and Jesus has a new name, and he gives his followers a new name, and he writes the name of his God in their forehead, and the city of the God. Well, who is in America handing out new names? And this is when the Jesus, the name, becomes a title of a man who's walking, and as he's written up in the headlines, he will not be described as Jesus. They say he will be hated for his name's sake. They hate him without a cause. I bear witness that the media and the people alike have been hating Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan without a cause. And I bear witness he is the voice of the bridegroom.